In December 2019, a number of pneumonia cases were discovered in China, specifically speaking from the seafood and live animal market in Wuhan. Once overlooked by the Chinese government, these cases actually indicated something much more serious, something that is now considered as the global emergency, the 2019 novel coronavirus. First of all, why is this virus called the 2019 novel coronavirus, or the 2019 n-CoV in short? Well, the answer is quite simple. 2019 indicating the time when the virus was first found, and novel meaning that it is a newly discovered virus, and corona referring to the group that the virus belongs to.
The coronavirus is a family of viruses. They consist of a core of genetic material surrounded by an envelope with protein spikes. This gives it the appearance of a crown, and crown in Latin is corona.
Depending on the type of spikes, it allows the virus to attach to certain places. So some viruses have spikes that can attach to your nose, which leads to a common cold. Whereas the SARS virus, or the 2019 n-CoV, has the spikes that can attach to your lung cells. Because this virus is novel, we don't know the exact mechanism of how virus can enter a host cell and replicate.
The protein spikes can attach to the receptors of the cell membrane and can either just release the contents into the cytoplasm, or the binding between the spikes and receptors convinces the cell that the virus is not a threat, allowing the virus entry, a process known as the endocytosis. Once inside the cytoplasm, the endosome opens to release the virus's genetic material, a single-stranded RNA.
The virus hijacks the cell's machinery to produce the viral proteins needed for replication and replicates the RNA. After replication, the virus is carried by the Golgi bodies out of the cell in a process known as exocytosis, and so it can infect other cells. So where did the virus come from?
Coronaviruses are known to circulate in a range of animals. Sometimes these viruses can transmit from animals to humans, which is called a spillover.
This is due to a range of factors, including mutations in the virus and increased contact between humans and animals. However, the animal reservoir of 2019 n-CoV is not known yet.
The symptoms can range from mild to severe. There can be fever, cough, and shortness of breath. In more severe cases, there has been pneumonia, kidney failure, and death. The virus can be transmitted through droplets or objects that are contaminated with the virus. There is currently no specific medication, and the treatment is supportive care.
So, should you be worried about the 2019 n-CoV? Well, I would say yes. You should be worried to some extent, but not too panic over it. I believe that no matter where you are, whether you're in China or elsewhere, everyone should be taking precautions. But especially the elderly, children, and people who are already suffering from the diseases should be more careful, as they have weaker immune systems, which makes them more vulnerable to the virus. Some important precautions we need to take starts with washing our hands frequently and properly. According to experts, this is how you wash your hands properly. Washing hands in warm water actually helps to get rid of the grease in your hands, and therefore is known to be more effective, but some experts say washing in cold water can do just the same. So it really depends on you. So first, you wet your hands and close the tap, as we don't want to waste our water, and apply enough soap to cover the surface of your hands. So then you rub both palms together, as well as the back of your hand. Rub each finger. And in between your fingers as well. Make sure you also rub both palms with fingertips to clean the space underneath your nails. You can also rub both of your wrists. So after that, you will rinse with water warm or cold. Then you dry your hands well, ideally with a disposable towel by tapping it over your hands, but not rubbing it because it will damage the top layer of your skin. We're going to dispose the wet towel and use a dry disposable towel to turn off the tap to make sure you don't get your hands dirty again by touching the tap, or by using the wet towel you used before, as the germs that are outside of the tap can transfer through the wet towel and onto your clean hands. The whole process should take 15 to 20 seconds, which is roughly the same time as singing the happy birthday song twice. Now, you might think you know how to wash your hands properly, but seeing from the people around me, I don't think that's the case. And you know who you are. So I hope you can follow those exact steps. It is often those simple things that we do wrong and can lead to something big. Lastly, I'll share some tips for using masks.
The common surgical masks you and I wear are helpful in that it prevents us from touching our face, but it is not necessary because they are leaky. These have pockets on both sides, and therefore the virus can get in. The N95 masks, on the other hand, are sealed, and so these are more effective. You should never ever touch the surface of the mask, because then you are touching a contaminated surface. So when you are disposing of the mask, take off the strings and carefully fold the mask outwards without touching the outside.
Taking these precautions are important, but their efficiency is quite limited. The most important factor in stopping a pandemic is the government's quick measures. We need to be transparent with an issue like this before it gets out of control. In the next hundreds of years, it might be an outbreak of a pandemic that will kill us all instead of a war. As Bill Gates has always insisted, getting ready for a pandemic is every bit as important as nuclear deterrence and avoiding a climate catastrophe.